Hi everyone, Jessica Morrison, Realtor with Century 21 Sheets. We are back for another local small business highlight. This time we sit down with Cindy Smith and Bombshell Sweets. Cindy, thanks for joining this webinar today. How are you doing and how's your small business?
Thank you. I'm doing great. It's a beautiful summer so far, I guess. We're doing really good. It's festival season, and so we're busy with farmers markets and festivals and quite a few other things. So we're doing pretty good, pretty busy.
Okay. Well, I think it's in the name that I can kind of guess what you sell, but for those not familiar, what is your small business about?
We sell gourmet cotton candy, so prepackaged gourmet cotton candy. We have over 62 flavors. We get everything from seasonal stuff for like Christmas and pumpkin for harvest time, and we do spicy ones,
Huh.
different things, caramel macchiato, and then we do, the blueberry lemonades and the strawberry watermelons and things like that too.
Wow. So cotton candy, is that just like your traditional cotton candy or is it a little bit different?
I like to say it is cotton candy reinvented, so to say, because it's quite different. You know, you get the bag of at the carnivals, you get the bag of the blue, pink, and this is definitely lots more flavor and lots more options.
Okay. But same concept of how cotton candy looks, or is it visually different?
It's the same concept. Ours comes prepackaged, so it's in it's in a container that is sealed.
Okay.
So we actually sell, not only do we sell at festivals from us, but we also do some retail stores as well. So you
Okay.
can actually get it in that areas too.
Yeah, I think that really turns it on its head because I think the last time I had cotton candy, which has been a long time, I think part of it is like temperature and you got to eat it quickly and like melting and then sticky fingers. So if someone was to, have an interest in trying your product, is that maybe a similar experience because it is cotton candy, or is it a little bit more enjoyable to eat because it's maybe
Um,
not like that?
yeah, so you can definitely, it's cotton candy, it's sugar. We're all the heat gets to every sugar like that. So yes, that's definitely something that can happen. When we go to festivals and it's hot out, we actually store our containers in large coolers that have some ice packs in there, so everything kind of stays nice and cool inside there. Definitely try to keep it out of the sun. But when we package it, the containers that we package in, you can actually take that container and put it in your fridge, and it will actually last for like 4 weeks.
Wow.
So you can extend the life as long as you don't leave it in your car in the heat.
Well, I don't know if that's a good thing that we just told the universe that you could keep cotton candy in your fridge for a few weeks. Might have some addicts out there, but maybe that's good for business. So, how did you like get connected with cotton candy? Is there a history, or did you just wake up one day and feel inspired?
So we actually started out, and our main company is BCD Farms, and we have a 3.5 acre farm, small farm where we grow our own produce. We have cows, chickens, goats, rabbits, turkeys. We have 7 beehives. So we were actually going to farmers markets and selling all of our produce and eggs and pork and beef. And then a friend of ours in Washington State was actually, selling cotton candy at the things that he was going to. And we're like, hey, that's kind of a good idea. So we got into it, and then that kind of just took it over. It, the only space we have in our booth is for the cotton candy now. So we kind of only do farmers markets and festivals with our cotton candy, and we sell the produce type stuff just here at our farm.
Okay, that's really wonderful. As you were listing off all of the different animals, I feel like from what I've observed with small farms, it starts with chickens, and then you got to get buddies for the chickens, and it just kind of grows from there. And I feel like
We call it
cotton candy is
chicken
like
math.
that. Say what?
Chicken math, I think is what they
Yeah.
call it.
But I feel like cotton candy's like your last animal. It's different
It's the
kind.
most, it keeps us busy, that's for sure.
Yeah. How much do you typically sell at a farmer's market?
So we go to a small local one here on a Friday night, and then we'll go to the one there's in Muncie, Indiana on Saturday, and we'll typically sell 30 to 50
Okay.
containers at the small one, and then we usually sell 80 to 120 or so at the larger one.
Wow. I have
And
no
then
idea how to quantify that, but that sounds great.
yeah, then we'll go to other events too. So usually on Friday nights or Saturday nights, we'll hit like cruise ins and things like that, and do a section there, and we can sell another 100 to 150 that night.
Yeah. Do you ever do like if a company wanted to have like a food truck, do you guys ever do like food truck type experiences for businesses or like a client opportunity to almost like a pop-up shop?
Um, we have been asked to do that. We've not done one yet. A lot of people want us to live spin at the event, and since our machines are more of a large quantity commercial type of a thing, so that we package everything, it's a little bit harder to spin on site because we can't change our flavors so quickly in those type of machines. So we're thinking about maybe getting an additional type of machine so we can actually do a couple on-site spin type of things.
Yeah.
We do have things where we have donated and or people have purchased like prize, like giveaway bag type things where we use a smaller, because our container usually comes in like a 32-ounce deli container. Obviously, it's not 32 ounces of cotton candy because it's nice and light, but they come in a 32-ounce container.
Uh-huh.
And so we've done several events where we've done a smaller container, either like an 8-ounce container or a 16-ounce container, and the company has given them away to as gift bags. We actually have this year we will be doing the haunted museum at
Mm-hmm.
the Children's Museum. We're donating to them this year so that they can give them those away as prizes from their spin wheel to the kids and stuff like that.
Okay. Very cool. We actually have a client event that we're doing for it's a very small list of clients, but they'll be able to do the haunted house this year for as a compliment for service or referrals and whatnot. But it's a unique thing to offer. Um, and I'm excited for you to have that affiliation.
We are
Have
too.
you, is that the first year you've done it?
Yeah, yeah. We she had actually gotten a hold of us. She said, "Hey, I heard your guys' cotton candy was really good, and I was just wondering if you guys would be willing to donate. And it's a good cause, and it helps get the name out there and share a
Yeah.
little cotton candy with the kids."
So as we come into Q3, Q4 for the year, it can certainly get busy very quickly with people in holiday planning and festivals and so forth. As people consider maybe like events, or I like to shop throughout the year for Christmas gifts because you'll find different bargains at certain seasonal points and it's great. But what are some of your favorite ways or unique ways for people to incorporate buying cotton candy, maybe either as a gift, or how have you seen people? I mean, certainly farmers markets, it's while they are attending the event, but have you seen people use or um, use your candy for more unique ideas, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so we've done several like party gifts for birthday parties. We've done the floof cakes, so we've taken the cotton candy and got a couple flavors and made it into an actual, like a birthday cake. We've done, sorry,
You're
we've done the other thing. Oh, they do like they buy them for gifts and they'll give them to their friends and such. But the one thing I had a lady do is we have a habanero mango,
okay.
and it's a little bit spicy, but she's actually taken that and she put it on her chicken. So she actually grilled
Okay.
her chicken and put it on her chicken, and she came back and she's like, she bought 6 more like the ones we had that day, and she's like, I'm gonna use this on my chicken. It's amazing. So I've had them used for all different kinds of things.
Yeah, that would be so fascinating if you got into like Late Harvest Kitchen and they did like a chef special, because that's super unique with menu pairing. Sorry.
Yeah, and the new thing, it's okay. No, you're fine. The new thing too that we're kind of pushing into are these glitter bombs. So what it
Yeah.
is we're still working on packaging, so we haven't got there yet, but it's little puffs of cotton candy that have the edible glitter in it, and you drop it in your drink. So you
Okay.
could just get like, because the flavor that comes in our cotton candy is really bold. I mean, like it's smacks you right in the mouth. It's not like your regular cotton candy. And so you could actually take that and drop it in just like soda water or
Yeah.
something like that. And you don't have to use like a flavored drink if you didn't want to. And it actually would flavor your drink and then it would turn it. And then the other thing too is people like to put them on skewers and then put them on top of their champagne glasses at bridal showers and things like that. And you just drop the cotton candy in and it flavors your champagne.
That's brilliant. I love it. That'd be a really cool partnership if you had with a local brewery to do like mocktails or something. Like, so that's a way of using cotton candy I would never have thought about, but I love that you've seen that happen. So for those who are interested in purchasing a product, why should they seek you out to buy cotton candy, and how from others that may be in the market, like what makes you guys special or unique about the ingredients that you use, and how can somebody support your business?
Yeah, so we you can find us at a festival, or you can find us online. We have a website that you can order from, and when you order, we don't just have it sitting on the shelf. So we actually do spin fresh once a week. So when you get it, it's going to be spun that week after you order. And then we usually do drop offs or meat pickup or something like that in that manner. And then the website is www.bombshellsweetseastcentralindiana.com.
Okay. And we'll have that in the description of this video so people can just click on it. And then are you only focused on Indianapolis, or do you ship anywhere across the United States?
We only can do within Indiana. What's
Okay.
our license allows us just to do that within Indiana.
And do you have any upcoming events that you're going to be at? I know you mentioned farmers markets, but where specifically are you guys currently at? And are there events that you have coming up that people should know about?
We are at Middletown Farmers Market. It's a very small one. It's every Friday. We're at Minnetrista in Muncie every Saturday almost. If you visit our website or if you go to our Facebook page, we always announce kind of where we're going to be and what we're doing that week. Our website actually has all of the events that we have attending throughout the year. A couple of the big ones coming up is the Pendleton Heritage Fair. That is in October, I believe. Middletown Fall Fun Fest is September 16th and 17th. And then we go to the bridge, the covered bridge festival too.
Yeah, I've heard that's a great one to attend. I don't know if I've ever actually been to it, but I've heard very good things. Um, so how how long have you guys been making cotton candy now? Because it sounds like you were doing farming for quite a while. And is there still a farming side of your business that you sell produce at, or people could support as well?
We are we've been doing cotton candy now for, this is our third season that we've gone through. So this marks the third year that we've been doing just cotton candy. Yeah, we still farm every day. We still have farm chores. We're out there every single day with them. And we are actually going to be building a farm store and like a 2-bedroom Airbnb here on the property, so that people can come into the shop and purchase cotton candy there, or any of the farm stuff, any of the produce, any of the meat we have. And then they can also, book a weekend stay at the farm and the 2-bedroom side of that building, and then they can help with chores or just listen to all the animals, whatever they choose.
It's brilliant. I'm so happy for you to take advantage of that because it's such a unique experience for people to have. So
even
Yeah.
a small weekend getaway from, living in town somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you could get some inspiration from like the Franklin, Tennessee area, I was looking at some Airbnbs for a trip that I did earlier this year in March, and I was blown away by how much these farms were able to get for the type of experience that they were offering. Like, excuse me, if it was more of like a spa retreat, I mean, we're talking over $1,000 a night, like just and like they now granted, like the setup was going to be a little different than how you're describing, but I mean, it's just wild how I think how much income potential there is for farmers on something like that when that industry is in need of revenue sources because you might not always be able to rely on rain or the bugs, and then you've got the bigger agricultural corporations that make that a little difficult, but
And they're
that's
buying up property left and right too. So yeah, it's I mean, my husband and I both have full-time jobs besides all of this stuff. So I mean, I think most farmers you find are full-time employed somewhere else and are farming just because it's something they love to do.
yeah, I saw somebody on Twitter this past week post a very clearly incompetent like tweet about how like if you bought a tomato plant and you replanted those tomato seeds and then you just kept replanting and you charged $1 million at the end of having like 156,000 tomato plants for every tomato, you would be like a multimillionaire. And everybody that actually knew something about farming was like, yeah, you've never
No,
done this before. And the guy was like, yeah, I mean, the sun's free, the rain's free. I mean, this is an easy business. And I'm like, oh my, I don't even know where to begin with you.
he needs to step away from the computer and step outside and try to do that and see what happens. First, he needs to make sure he has a tomato that's actually going to grow because sometimes they're not going to unless they're a different variety. So,
Yeah, that's a TV show. City people turned into farmers, and that would be a hoot. No offense. I'm sure there's some farmers who sometimes don't know how to farm. So I think we've all been there.
it is a learning process. It doesn't matter because one time you could be doing something fine, and the next, I'm gonna do the same exact thing, and then it just didn't work. And Mother Nature has its way to keep you on your toes. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, trying to keep us on track that like for cotton candy, but also I'm trying to also give some shout out to the other business that you have because you mentioned produce and beef. Is that something that you're actively marketing, or is that something that's kind of more, because I think sometimes people get too long of a list of people, whether it's like beef or like if they sell meat or produce, and then it's like, okay, we have way more people interested than we can actually serve. So, and then like with the time and commitments that you've got right now, is that something that people can seek you out to buy produce or meat from, or is it kind of a we've got our list and we're good?
Yeah, we're kind of at that point right now. We have our list. We're good. I had in the last 3 years, I have had unfortunately, I've had an accident every single year. I tore my ACL in
Oh
2020, my other
no.
ACL in 2021, and then last year in 2022, I was in a fire. We had an accident and I was in a fire. So we definitely stepped back from the farming. So we're not like really marketing that really hard, but
Yeah.
we we've been healthy this year, so that's a great thing. And we're kind of putting things back on track and getting the building put in. So like once we do that, then we're gonna be pushing that back again and try to really market the farm part again.
Yeah, I'm so sorry you had to go through all of that, especially the fire. That sounds out of what you've listed the most traumatic, but is everybody okay?
Everybody's great. Yes. I mean, it
Okay.
is a blessing. It was only what it was, and we're healed. We're alive. We're happy. We're good.
Yep, and there's good things ahead,
Right.
Lord willing. Um, okay, well, is there anything, I mean, we've got 10 minutes left out of this 30-minute conversation. Is there anything that you really want to leave our audience with, or things that you wish people would know more about with either your business or small businesses in general?
Um, the one thing for us is that, you know, one of the things with our cotton candy that is so different than your regular carnival type is definitely the flavors. Like every time you see us, we're going to bring 12 flavors, 12 different flavors. So if you come to the market the one time and you're like, oh, I already had your cotton candy. Well, I can guarantee you there's probably a flavor on that table that you've never had before. And it truly is an experience. Um, One of the favorite things my husband and I really like to do is watch someone taste it, because we do give free samples so that you can taste what you're purchasing, and to watch the people taste it and they're like, oh wow, like that really tastes like mint chocolate chip, or oh, you can really feel the hot of the habanero, and that, that's definitely unique and different. So that's the one thing on that. The other thing on small business is just that it's you and I. We're everyday people, and most of us with small businesses also have other jobs and work really hard, and we usually only do that small business because we enjoy it and we want to share it with someone. So then when you're going in and you're buying from someone who has a small business, whether it's a boutique or cotton candy or a food truck or something like that, that you gotta you have to feel good that that person's there because they just really want to share what they have with you. It's not like they want to just take your money. They want to share what they have. Otherwise, they would not be hustling the way they hustle if they didn't enjoy what they did.
Yeah, I think I kind of wish sometimes that businesses could share their financials, and not in like a here's how much profit we're making off of you, but more of here's the cost of what it takes for us just to be here.
Yeah.
Because like when I've shared with people, so I have a real estate business and then I have an art business, and I've shared with some people like, hey, like when I look at booking, um like if I wanted to be a vendor as an artist in an art fair, they usually charge like $100 for the booth. There's a non-negotiable like $25 to $50 application fee up front that you have to pay in order to be juried, and then you may or may not get in after you pay that fee. And then if you do, then you pay the booth fee. And then that's before the setup, before taking all of your stuff there and unloading it. And then you hope that you sell enough to make that full-time commitment worth it. And that's just on the art side. And I have no idea, like every farmer's market or festival is going to have different fees or policies. You've got to carry insurance for different things like that. And I just sometimes wish that the public knew, for especially those free events, how much just buying an $8 bag of gummy bears or whatever, like just really helps people just
Yeah.
cover the cost of gas sometimes, to because, and especially for like bakers or perishable items, um like it's not something like a product that you can just take and put back on your shelf. Like that could be lost revenue on top of all of that. So do you have like, I mean, obviously you want to make a certain amount in sales per day for when you do events like that, but do you have like a goal of how many bags you hope to sell at each event? Besides as many as possible.
So yeah, well, as many as we can make, because
Yeah.
I mean, the process of we try to do, like, we carry them in coolers, so we try to do two coolers for full. So we're usually at that 150 containers with the two coolers. So we just kind of gauge that. The bigger events will take 4 or 3 coolers depending on what it is. But we try to. Our goal is to sell that 125, 150 over the weekend. Um, and usually that sometimes is a 3 event or sometimes it's a 2 event depending on what it is. And then if sometimes we can get that to keep and go over to the next, we put them in our coolers here and we can sell that again the next week. But for the most part we get rid of almost everything. So we are selling that 80 to 90 range. And then a lot of times if I'm like, I don't want to sell that, I don't, we give them to the kids. The kids take them, they give them to their friends, and we have lots of friends that love cotton candy. So they're
Yeah.
always happy to see us sometimes when we don't do so. We're not so busy on the weekend.
Yeah, and I don't know if I like suggesting the children's hospital would be appropriate because maybe that's not an appropriate food for kids in different situations, but
The teachers
just
really like them when they're
yeah. Give them to the kids at the end of the day of school and then send them home.
yeah.
Just kidding. No, I had an idea. Have you explored at all like weddings or receptions? Because that
We've
would,
talked
like,
to a few.
yeah,
Um, we have not done any, and a lot of people think, "Oh, that's a really good idea," but we've not been to that level yet.
yeah. And I feel like at a certain point, then it's, well, can we hire people? Because then you're trying to scale and all of that. So, but I feel like if you had like the higher quantity of orders and it was scheduled so much farther out, like that could be, or if you got that machine, you could do
Yeah.
live spinning and then you're making on site and not running into having to cart that everywhere.
Yeah, and then I mean the containers are they're lighter than they are, they're bigger than and they're light and they take up a lot of space and I only can fit so many coolers in my van. So yeah, it having those scheduled ones is it's kind of nice and trying to maybe live spin at some point would be kind of nice.
Yeah. Okay, well, 3.5 minutes to go, roughly. Is there anything else? I know we've covered a lot. Um, is there another small business you think we should talk to or have on our show? And anything you want to leave our guests with today?
The other one is have you guys talked to Beehive Body Company?
No, not yet.
Yeah, so they're located in Mount Summit, and her and I go to a lot of events, and we're next to each other. But she makes some great soaps. We've actually um, given some milk from our goats to her to make goat milk soap, and you can find her at the state fair right now. She's in the home Indiana grown
Okay.
section, but she's Mary's great. She's a veteran. Um, she runs this business and she's got some great soaps and lotions and
I
so
love
she'd be a
that.
good one to talk to.
Yeah, well, thank you. My allergies are up today, so I need some of her bee pollen. It's been that time of year.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Cindy, for
Thank
coming
you.
on today. I know you've got a lot going on as well in your business, but
Yeah,
we'll
you
have,
could probably see the kids running behind me.
I think one thing I really love about like, unfortunately, we went through a pandemic and that was very challenging for a number of families. But one thing that I love that did come out of it was the empathy of people being able to connect more with um, just we're all doing life and that looks a little differently. And especially when you do work from home, like it's just, I think it's been a very good cultural adjustment for people learning how to still work, but also be able to maybe prioritize or incorporate their family more in what they do. Have you seen your kids take an interest in business since you've had your businesses?
Um, so yes, my oldest daughter, she's actually going to Purdue right now, and she's going in for agricultural business and then a minor in animal science. And she very much has taken to, this is the way you're supposed to do business. And I think the farm and then watching her dad and I both work has really, set her in that direction. But my son, who's 10, he actually is going to start selling chickens. He is breeding his silky chickens. And so after I get done here, we're going out there to take pictures and we're going to post them. And because I kept telling him to get the eggs so we don't have babies. Well, he went ahead and all the eggs stayed. So we have probably about 35 babies out there.
Oh,
So he's going to start his business, so he's got timers on his phone when he needs to go out there and take care of them. So hopefully, it's
yeah.
ingrained in him too.
No, it's wonderful. And how old is he?
He's 10.
Yeah, that's a great age for just fostering the entrepreneur spirit. I love it. So congrats on that. And we'll have this interview up
Okay.
here today. And thank you so much for your time. It was great to talk with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.